Hello and welcome to Strange Weekly News. In this show, taking a look into the news and headlines to pick out curious reports of the strange, the weird, and the mysterious. Anything from UFO news to science advancements, the paranormal, and stuff labeled fringe science and fringe phenomena. All the articles that we go over in the show, I will place the links to them in the description box below once this live show is over, as well as chapters on the timeline index. Hello and welcome to all of my first time viewers and listeners and everyone watching this live. It's Friday. You know what that means? It is our gift card giveaway. The base price is 10 and Chris James and Jonacide starting out the show so strong, already giving to the gift card. Gonna make someone so happy today. So now we're looking at $35 right out of the gate. So if you want to make someone's day, put in a super chat that says for the gift card. I will rack it up and we will do the drawing at the very end of the show. But you might be asking, Christina, what is the word of the day? I got you. I'm going to pull it up right now because the word of the day is spooky. Why? Because I am ready for the spooky season already. I want it to be October. I want to see the leaves change color. I would like some hot beverages, okay? I am ready for the spooky season, like wearing sweaters and stuff. Yes, I am one of those people. So, word is hashtag spooky exactly as you see it here. Place it in the live chat if and only if you are watching this live. All right. I'm going to take this down and we're going to get straight into it. Let's pull that one down. Okay. Is that my first one? Yes. So, this first article that I have for you, it's about attempting to communicate with ET. What is the way in which we're going to do it? People always say math. Math is the universal language. I think I mentioned this yesterday in yesterday's show. And yeah, okay, but you know what? Not everyone's good at math. Maybe aliens aren't good at math. I don't know. But people are thinking maybe there's another way to attempt to communicate with them. And for some, it might be classified as more fun. That's playing chess. Scientists have come up with the perfect way to make contact with aliens by inviting them for a game of chess. A team of scientists and engineers working on the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, SETI projects, have devised a daring plan to attempt to make first contact with aliens. They had prepared a message to be transmitted into space with the hope of receiving a response. And what better way to begin a conversation than by extending an invitation and say, "Oh, my dear, would you like to play a game of chess?" Because it's a fancy game in my mind. Jonathan Jeong, a co-author of the New Beacon in the Galaxy, that's in quotation marks, message from NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory explains, quote, "We now know the existence of thousands of exoplanets, many of which could potentially support technological life." That was an interesting choice of words right there. We usually hear biological forms of life. We hear about technosignatures, biosignatures. Okay, yes, but technological life? Interesting. We don't hear that too often. He believes that compared to previous attempts at contacting alien civilizations, scientists now possess more accurate and detailed information, which could facilitate a deeper connection. The best way for a deeper connection is over a meal and just listening. You know, let the other person speak and let them share their deepest, darkest thoughts or whatever on their mind, and you just listen. That is how you create a deep connection there. Philip Rosen, a retired energy engineer and co author of that paper, Beacon in the Galaxy, highlights that chess can serve as a powerful tool for understanding the logical processes and strategies of alien civilizations. He says, estimating a common ground of understanding through play would encourage deeper and more detailed communication. I like where this is going, but you know what it's really reminding me of? Honestly, 3D chess from Star Trek. And they say, I think it was in the latest Strange New Worlds season, where they were saying, you know, terrestrial chess, this chess here on Earth is so easy. It's so simple. Yes, it was with the new Captain Kirk, the younger version of him. He was playing chess in order to make money. I'm not going to spoil that episode, but he was just saying how easy it was. Could aliens think the exact same? Is it incredibly simple? For me, I find it very hard. I took chess camp once, and let's just say I was the laughing stock out of the entire group there. And I know how to play, but just barely. However, this mode of communication also raises concern. Scientists are discussing potential technical difficulties and ethical aspects associated with such contact. Dun dun dun. Andrea Sandberg of the University of Oxford cautions, quote, a strong signal sent into space can lead to unexpected consequences. Back that up. We've been doing this since the 70s, and we haven't seen anything yet. Or have we? Dun dun dun. He warns of the danger of attracting unwanted attention or even hostilities from alien civilizations. I'm sorry. The reason to why I'm laughing is because I can just like I'm just imagining using my imagination thinking an alien they receive this this message and they're like, "Hey, do you want to play chess with us?" And I can just imagine the insult on their face so much so that they would come and just attack Earth because we invited them to play chess. It's too funny. It makes me laugh. And Gary, thank you for that, for the drawing, passing it forward. You guys are amazing. Looking at 40 right there. The word is hashtag spooky. We'll do the drawing at the very end of the show. Chris says, I love chess. You know what? Yeah, that rock on. Chess is cool. It's not for everyone, but I like it more than checkers. That's for sure. I actually don't even know the rules of checkers, to be honest. But hey, don't tell anyone that. That's a secret between you and me. If someone were to ask me, Christina, can you play checkers? I will say yes, but unfortunately, I'm a bit under the weather right now. That would be my go-to answer. Too funny. And Laura, thank you so much for putting in hashtag spooky in the live chat. And everyone copy exactly what she just did right there. Blue says chess is all about war, strategy, and tactics. This is true. There are so many different TV shows and movies that use chess to attempt and feel out the opponent, the enemy, the counter group. And then in a bunch of like older Chinese shows, they have this game called Go, which is like the most complex version of chess you could ever imagine. I don't even know the rules. I've watched so many TV shows on like playing Go, that's what it's called, and it's insane. But in these types of shows, in the genre I like to watch, was called wuxia, they use like their inner chi to play chess, but also kind of like feeling these people out 10 steps ahead to kind of really see their intentions. It's amazing. Watching that aspect, it's so cranial, it's so cool. But if you ask me to play Go, it's gonna be a big fat no right there. But Sandberg also emphasizes the importance of humanity learning how to make collective decisions before attempting to establish contact with alien life. He underscores the need to consider the diverse interpretations of messages, as what may appear universal to us could be entirely different for other civilizations. Really fantastic point. Yes, hold on to that. That little paragraph right there is going to be valuable a little bit later in today's show. So just remember that, put it in your little brain, and then just say, hey, brain, don't forget this. Month, you even have Douglas Vakuch of METI, which is a messaging extraterrestrial intelligence, suggests sending a multitude of messages utilizing various concepts might be beneficial. This approach would enable scientists to gain a better understanding of which methods are most effective and resonant with alien species. Yes. Yes, it is. I agree. And the more that you try, the more that you put out there, one of them is going to stick. It's like cooking up a meal. You're going to find out of all the dishes that you make, it's going to be one dish that is the best. Or if you make a crap ton of content, there's going to be one that's going to just like blow up, right? And the same case for this, try everything and then you'll figure it out as you go along. But keeping it in the UFO topic, I do have a video for you today for this next article. It's of a UFO sighting in Mexico. The person that recorded this, her name has not been made public. And just to kind of like back it up before I show you this video, She was taking a time lapse. So the original video is already at a faster speed. She was taking a time lapse of the weather, of a storm, and then she captured something weird. So this video I'm going to show you, I did not speed it up. It's that's the original. So I'm going to pull this up while I go ahead and read this article to you in decent detail. And I finally figured out how to make these videos play in loops instead of me constantly pressing play each time. So dumb. And there's no audio, by the way. So it says here, every day, there are more indications that lead humanity to think that extraterrestrial life is close to making contact. For example, the frequent sightings of strange objects that cross the sky at great speeds and then get lost among the clouds or the horizon. And it is that, once again, what could be a UFO that was potentially captured right here in Mexico in Nayarit while a powerful storm was occurring. However, despite the intense electrical activity, it was possible to capture a kind of air vehicle that left much to think about. Oh, it didn't play and repeat. I feel robbed. I really prepared myself. Anyways, this clip was captured by an internet user who later shared it on Twitter, and where, according to the user, she placed her camera in hyperlapse to record the storm for real. However, she captured something more than just the incredible weather. In the video, there is a panoramic view of the storm captured in the distance in the sea. In addition, the beach, a very rough sea, and the swimming pool of a hotel are perceived when suddenly something appears coming from the sea. It is kind of flattened, silvery, and luminous object that flies very close to the ground. According to the video, the object would have returned and flown over the coast very close to the beach line, and its reflection can be seen in the on top of the seawater. However, some internet users denied that it was a UFO, explaining that the video was recorded in the direction of Licenciado Gustavo Diaz Ordaz International Airport in Puerto Vallarta, and that took a high speed, which is kind of confusing and could produce some visual effects. However, others say that it is a UFO because it illuminates the sea and the sand, in addition to the fact that more sightings have occurred in that place. This is the only video that we have. That is all the information that has been provided. So you can make up your own mind on what you think is going on here. Is it real? Is it a hoax? Was it edited, behind the scenes, right? We don't know. It is something that is obscure. Mexico has had its fair share of UFO sightings. And a little fun fact, when finding articles for today's show, there were a lot in the headlines in this last week of more people reporting their UFO sightings since the witness hearing. More people, when they see something strange, they go to UFO collecting centers, right, where they collect UFO sightings and encounters, and they're sharing their stories more so than last year. This has been proven by New Fork and by MUFON as well. So with this, it's just another person, if we take this for face value, right? This is another person who was just casually capturing something, just capturing the amazing thunderstorm, which who doesn't love I love thunderstorms. Who does not love a good thunderstorm? She was just capturing that, and then she saw something really weird. But I have to ask you, what do you think about this? I am not going to tell you what to believe, but I will like to hear your opinions and your insights on this. Oh, PC, thank you. You're so nice. Thank you for that. But Chris says, I would like to see a slowed down version of this clip. I am with you on that. I really am. But as I had mentioned, the person that recorded this, she was recording it as a time lapse anyway. So this is the original. Sped up. There isn't a slowed down version. Yes, you can slow it down on your own. Sure thing. But I like to show you the original and then edit it from time to time. But I did not have time to do that today. So it's one that I had to share. It is strange. But now we're getting into the really weird here. and kind of in the paranormal aspect. So I'm going to share this with you. It's just to give you a little bit of preface, this is an old story. This happened in 2020. This person just recently did a podcast sharing her story back in June, and news outlets are now just grabbing the story. Okay, just keep that in mind. All right, I'm gonna pull this up because it's weird. This person, just to really briefly say it to you in one sentence, had a near-death experience that was so profound, and she saw things that she didn't expect. So, this 25-year-old American Eilish Poe, employed as a third grade teacher, miraculously survived after enduring 16 new injuries inflicted upon her by her enraged boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend, right? Her ex-boyfriend, Jonathan Crossley, attacked her back in 2020, furious that she didn't want to turn their relationship from a light summer fling into something more serious. She recently spoke about it on a podcast a few weeks ago, and now, as I had said a little bit earlier, articles are now just coming out with this story. So, as she had mentioned, she says her boyfriend snuck into Eilish's house and sat down in the basement and was there for about 26 hours before waiting just for the right moment. In the basement, Eilish had a cage with the rabbit that she went down to check on, this cute little furry little pet. And then her ex-boyfriend attacked the girl with the knife, and that's when everything kind of went downhill. She screamed, but no one came because it's the basement. And she tried to fight back with their hands, but he didn't stop. So she guessed the best thing to do is just to play dead, which is something that I feel like we see in a lot of movies, but also something that I've been taught to do as a kid, that if anything bad happens and you can't fight back for whatever reason, just try to play dead. Maybe they'll leave you alone. I learned that from movies. But here she did that, and he did leave her alone. He says, "Okay, I did my job. Now I'm going to run away as fast as I can and not attempt to be found out." So with her limp body and just right on the verge of death, just like right there in that little in between, she finally, when she was just like bleeding out from all these injuries, she perceived shadowy human forms just right from the corner of her eye. Entities that she now refers to as shadow people. But when she was lying on the floor in her basement, she was no longer hoping to survive. She says, like, this is it. These are my last moments. There's no way I'm going to make it. Right there, right then, when she was having those thoughts, feeling that in her body, she saw these shadowy figures next to her. And she was able to realize among them, one of them was her former best friend, Vicky, who had taken her own life a year earlier, as well as her grandmother. And she goes into detail saying that, like, while I couldn't fully see these people, like, in great detail, I just knew it was them. I just had this gut feeling. Like, I just felt it. It was these people. And this is her right here, by the way. And it's the same kind of thing. When I read that particular sentence, it kind of reminds me of, when you dream and you dream of a person, have it be someone in your life, right? And while they're not in that same form that you're used to, you know it's that person in some way. And I know there's going to be a few of you that might think, what is Cristina on about? What is she talking about? And there's going to be others going to be like, yes, I totally get what you mean. And that was what was going through my mind when I was reading this. While she couldn't see the exact details of these shadowy figures, she knew, she felt it was her grandmother and her very close friend at the time. And so she ends up going to the hospital. She survives, obviously, because she was able to give that podcast several years later. And she had to go through a lot of surgeries and be taken care of. But the wacky part of this story is that her ex-boyfriend was never tried for the crime. Hold up. You're like, what are you saying? Well, here's why. Because he soon fell off a cliff and hurt himself to death. Whether it was suicide or an accident, that is unknown. But that's why he wasn't tried. Now, This is just one of those cases that is just very, very peculiar, and one that, if you study the paranormal, you hear a lot of stories of people talking about shadow people, people mentioning their near death experiences and encountering their loved ones, either telling them, come on, or telling them that, hey, you're not ready. Please, you have to stay here and finish whatever your purpose is. In this story, she also mentioned that one of the shadow people actually lifted her off the ground and helped her sit up, like sit forward. That's crazy. I have not heard that detail before ever. But aside from that, there are a lot of similarities to other near-death experiences that Eilish had right here. And Jordan, thank you for that. What do you think are the explanations for all the UFOs and aliens? So I'm pretty open-minded, because after all, UFO means just unidentified, right? Like that's it. So some could be aliens, maybe misidentification, no doubt, and probably a high percentage has definitely proven that to be. But what is important is to keep an open mind. Some people say, for myself, right? Like I always keep my eyes on the skies, but it's all times of the day because I don't sleep, okay? I do have insomnia, but I do take that time to like research and do my school studies and all my projects and stuff. But also, a little fun fact, and some of you will know this, I also like to relax and play Elite Dangerous, the space sim. You know who you are, right? But who, raise your hand. Raise some hands right here. Who else of you plays Elite Dangerous? Let me know in the live chat, please, because who knows, right? I want to know who plays Elite Dangerous. That is the game to play, filled with exploration. That's like my kind of go-to, but fighting is not so bad either. I'm not saying I'm good or anything, but I'm pretty decent. But that is my go-to form of relaxation. Right next, guess it, to Father Ted. You guessed it right, for those that did. Tyler's saying 07 knows what's up. Getting into our next one, and I remember I told you a little bit earlier, keep a certain paragraph in your mind and don't forget it. Did you forget it? It's okay. We're going to revise it, because I know for a diddly darn fact, I am not the only one here. Since I came out of the womb, I have always wanted to talk to animals. Okay? Like, I've always wanted to be that person that could just have full-blown conversations with cats and dogs and birds and rodents and stuff. That's what I wanted so bad. Well, what if that could become a reality? Bear with me. Bear with me here. With the new technology that we have, scientists, researchers, they're looking into this and they're saying, I too wish to speak to animals. So imagine if one day ChatGPT was joined by CatGPT, an AI-based machine that allowed us to communicate with our pet like our cats using meows, purrs, and hisses. Yes. Now that large language model has become an expert at human speech, and many are wondering if it can take that human speech and help us better understand animals. I'm loving this so much. Two neurobiologists discussed the answer in a new essay published in Current Biology. In homage to the Turing test, which provides a threshold for human intelligence in machines, Yossi Yavel and Oded Rechavi from Tel Aviv University in Israel introduced that they have coined the Dr. Dolittle Challenge, which, by the way, if you don't know, the story goes that it is a vet that's able to talk to animals. So this challenge requires an AI base, a large language model, to overcome three main obstacles when communicating with an animal. One, it has to use the animal's own communicative signals. The animal must not learn new signals like a dog responding to human commands. Two, it has to use these signals in a variety of behavioral contexts, not just during courtship or threatening situations like scientists playing a known avian alarm can call back birds. And three, It has to produce a measurable response in the animal as if it were communicating with a conspecific, which is an animal similar to itself and not a machine. All right? Put that in your brain. Remember that. So cool. Take the honeybee, for instance. It performs a wagging dance to communicate with the colony about the location of food. Scientists have managed to, quote, hack this knowledge and create a robotic bee that can recruit other bees when it moves and leads them to a specific spot. If you haven't seen those videos, it's actually pretty cool. This fulfills the Dr. Dolittle challenge on the first and third point, but the dance only works for this one context. Scientists still can't ask a bee what it wants or how it feels. Mastering primate communication, on the other hand, might be easier as it is closest to our own. But AI models will still need to be trained on a huge amount of data that would require long term surveillance of primates in the wild. Where would we get that information from? That is the question that is being posed in this paper. Even if it could be gathered and utilized, scientists would need to measure the quote natural response from primates, indicating that they had heard and understood a machine's attempt to communicate with them. So, long winded answer here. These neurobiologists from the University of Israel, they're looking into this and they're saying this is super cool, but it's not going to be possible just yet. Having AI attempt to communicate with animals to and fully understand their forms of communication, it's not going to happen anytime soon because we're going to need so much data. But here, I'm looking at this from the optimistic side. At least they even considered it and didn't classify it as crazy. That's what I love here because so many of us have this dream, have this desire to be able to speak to our pets and to speak to animals. Anyone that has a fur baby, a pet. There have probably been moments where you just rant at your pet because of something that happened at work or something that happened in your personal life, right? And you're just going at it with them. And they just kind of look at you like, yeah, sure. Where are my treats? Please feed me. But if you're able to have that full blown conversation, they might even give you feedback on the questions that you have and maybe even provide you advice. For the cats, you can already guess what that advice would be. Forget about it. Dogs, on the other hand, they'll be like, yeah, do what makes you happy and make everyone else happy. Love it. I love animals. They're the coolest things on the planet. But now we're getting into the kind of freaky stuff. So if you're eating or drinking anything delicious, I would say put your food down just for a moment for this one because it might make your stomach turn. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you know I always share pictures and videos. These pictures are slightly disturbing. So if you're eating, put it away just for a little bit because there is this contest every single year for photographers to take pictures of nature, and there are certain categories for each. In this particular category, it is the BMC Ecology and Evolution Photography Competition, which takes pictures of nature and of plants and fungus, the fungi category. What if you put those two together? Yeah, you get some weird stuff. If you've been following Strange News for like a year, we've covered the zombie fungus before, which before I even share this image, it's like it's whack. It's crazy. It's about this fungus, and I'm paraphrasing here. This fungus that eats up like flies and cicadas from the inside, allowing it to still fly around and spread its little fungal spores until the fungus completely eats the bug from the inside out, and then it sprouts everywhere, and then it just continues to contaminate the animal kingdom. All right. There have been new images, but this one's of a spider. Let's pull this up. And I will not keep it up for too long because it is like pretty freaky. But at the same time, it also just looks like a plant. But if we just zoom in a little bit, these are the little legs. And then this is the fungus. You see little eyes. And this is the fungus coming out of it. All right. Yeah. Pretty gross. And Dave, thank you for that. For the travel plants. You're so nice. Thank you. I'm going to also show this image rather quickly. This is the image that won last year that we covered on Strange News. This is a fly being eaten up by this zombie fungus. But now I'm just going to add this cute little picture of some cute little mushrooms on a branch that we see so often, and it's not so creepy. Cool. All right. But here, I mean mushrooms are kind of cute, right? I they're fine. As my voice cracks, right? So the striking photo that I just showed you, the original one of the spider, was one of the winning images for this photography competition, and the picture was taken by a biologist, Roberto Garcia Roa, and he was named the runner up in the plants and fungi category, which, fun fact, he was the guy that won last year for that other picture of the fly and the fungus coming out. So, runner up this year, winner last year, pretty good. He says here, while it's not uncommon to encounter insects being eaten up by a zombie fungus in the wild, it is a rarity to witness large spiders succumbing to these fungal conquerors. And he mentioned this in the BMC Ecology and Evolution editorial that was released today. We are up to date, guys. Many species of fungus are known to just eat up spiders with a little fungus, like little parasites, and instances of parasites bursting from their bodies of dead arachnids have been recorded across the globe. The species of the spider and fungus in Garcia's Roa's image are not known, but the fungus appeared to have entered its host and taken over the alien's body. Yeah, gross. I mean, absolutely disgusting. Now, depending on the insect, you get different variations of these zombie parasites. Like for the cicada, it's very specific because once it takes over the brain, once this fungus, it just like it becomes the ruler and the conqueror. What it does, and this is crazy. I'm telling you, this is wild. What it does is that it only takes over the male cicadas, and then when this parasite takes over the brain, it allows the cicada to create this fluttering dance of its wings to portray itself as a female. So then other males are going to come along and be like, "Hey, what's this female doing? Let's go check it out." And then bam, 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 they the zombie cicada just spits all of its fungal spores out, contaminating everyone else around them. That's pretty vicious. Like, that is pretty brutal right there, but also incredibly fascinating. And for the scientists and biologists and all these people looking at this for the first time, who needs to watch any horror movies? Who needs to write a script? Just go out into nature and you're going to see how crazy and whack it is out there. Okay. But I love this story. And it's so gross and terrifying. But you know what? It's better than a story of like a murderer and like all these gory scenes. In this case, maybe this parasite is a murderer. So back it up. No, still just as scary. And Bob, thank you for that, for the gift card. Amazing. Looking at 50 right there. Thank you. Thank you. Woohoo. Oh, and Jorian, thank you for that. You should play Starfield, that is coming out in 2 weeks. I'll take a look at that. Thank you. I will have to. I don't have a lot of free time, but when I do, my go-to is Elite Dangerous. Really dig it. Nick says that is jacked up. LOL. It is crazy. All right. J. Allen Heineken says this is creepy AF as fungus. Oh yeah. Yeah. But now we're getting away from the gross and we're going to get into the kind of the spooky season, because this article is for the spooky season. Okay. We're all familiar with Vlad the Impaler, right? Vlad Dracula, right? We know him. Well, there has been some new stuff that has come out about him after centuries later. I'm guessing what, like a lot of centuries. Let me pull this up so I can show you this, because we're looking at Vlad the Impaler. And by the way, we have 285 people watching this live. Let's get to 200 likes if you're enjoying the show, enjoying all of the articles, especially the zombie fungus article. That one might be my favorite so far, but let's continue because you will decide which article has been your favorite this week. But let's get into Vlad here. Because not only was he known as a bloodthirsty and ruthless leader, but he also suffered from a rare condition that caused him to cry tears of blood, a new study suggests. You cannot get more hardcore than, first off, I mean, just slaughtering thousands of people, but on top of that, him being so bloodthirsty, so much so that when he cries, blood comes out. Dude, that is insane, hardcore, and terrifying all at the exact same time, like monster soup, which is our oceans. Scientists made the discovery after conducting a chemical analysis of a trio of letters written by Vlad III during his 3 separate reigns as the military leader in the historical region of Romania from 448 AD until his death in 1476 AD, according to a study published in the journal Analytical Chemistry that was published August 8th. Historians estimate that more than 80,000 people, 80,000 people died at the warlord's order by being impaled by a sharp object. And Worldwide Ghost, hi. Welcome to the channel. Hello. I love seeing newbies and new faces and new names and people saying new because that is important because then I don't know. But hello. So the court the count is perhaps best known from coming from the Irish author Bram Stoker's inspiration for the 1897 novel Dracula, according to the study. And that is the only way you can say Dracula is just like that. If you say it any other way, you're saying it wrong. And I pronounce a lot of things wrong, but never Dracula. So, to learn more about the bloodthirsty warlord, the researchers used a technique called mass spectrometry that involved carefully applying ethylene vinyl acetate, a polymer, to the letters, then removing it. The acetate picked up proteins and smaller molecules called peptids left over from when the court handled the papers centuries ago. This process revealed residue that contained 500 peptids, of which 100 were of human origin. These peptids were presumed to come from Vlad rather than other people who may have handled the letters. Why is this important? Why were they looking at paperwork? Well, and I'm gonna summarize this. Because they were looking at these papers and they were saying, okay, all of these little peptids that are here, some of them are a part of this really odd disease. And they conclude that because of this, Vlad likely suffered from hemolacria, a condition in which blood is present in tears. And it's a possibility that maybe he had an eye infection during the time that he wrote these letters, or this was an actual disease that he suffered for being such a hardcore person. But it says here in the paper, to our reckoning, this is the first time such research has been carried out and has helped bring to the limelight the health status of Vlad Dracula, the Impaler. Pretty crazy. But it cannot be denied that more medieval people may have touched these documents. But it is presumable that the most prominent ancient proteins should be related to Prince Vlad the Impaler, who wrote and signed these letters. So people are just assuming, okay, it must be Vlad, but what if it was Vlad's assistant who cried tears of blood? We don't know. We can kind of guess, but they're saying, no, it must be, because that's the only way he should ever cry, is with blood. But hey, part of the spooky season, so I'm digging it. And Tyler's saying, Dracula! Yes, it's the only way. All right, getting into our next one. Here we're making Dracula jokes. Too funny. And don't forget, the word is hashtag spooky. Put that in the live chat if and only if you are watching this live to win a $50 Starbucks or Amazon gift card. If you want to make someone's day, put in a super chat that says for the gift card. I'll rack that up and we'll do the drawing at the very end of the show. Just like how you see it here by Comic Freak. Nice name. Nice. Okay. Getting into let me just quickly show you the papers that they use to do the tests. It's these papers. And look at the hand. I know the quality is so bad, but the attention to detail in the past and the handwriting. My handwriting looks like a 4-year-old just learned how to write cursive and print at the exact same time. I can't even read my own handwriting. But this took dedication and pride. People were prideful then, prideful back in the day with all of their skills and everything that they did. Now we're just like, throw it all together, mishmash, pish posh, done. Like making a potion or something. We don't care like we used to. Okay, but this one is about robots, and we consistently cover robots and AI here. There's always new things coming out about these. There's this new robot that's going to be on the market rather shortly, and as soon as it came out, people were already making jokes. And I have a video for you that I will play rather shortly. I'm sad that this picture is like actually really poor quality, but I'm just going to quickly show it and then excuse me, I will show the video of like the promo for this robot. But look, it's wearing a nice shirt and some skinny jeans and great. Well, as, as soon as it hit the internet, social media was like, oh my gosh, it's a robot like Terminator. But wait a second. It's Terminator-esque bots, but it looks more like it's frantically trying to find the nearest public bathroom. And you can see that you can see it in the picture. But let's watch this video so you can actually see like how it walks and stuff, because it's weird. Because it really does look like that. Like this robot is trying to find the bathroom. He just can't keep it together. So he's like waddling with his legs all fall apart, spread apart here. But let's read this into detail here. So the H1 robot has been built by a Chinese company called Unitree Robotics, which is one of the leading developers of quadrupeds. And last month, the firm shared a glimpse of another of its creations, a possible pet of the future, in the form of a creepy robot dog that can talk and perform handstands. We covered that a few weeks back. But that robot was called Go 2, and it can also like climb the stairs, play fetch, emit music from its built-in speakers, and even take photos on command, which is cool and stuff, right? But the H1, this robot right here, by comparison, is a humanoid that stands about 71 inches or about 180 centimeters tall and weighs about 100 pounds or 47 kilograms. Let's play that one more time for you while I read this. So it can walk at a speed of about 3.4 miles per hour, which is about the same as the average human. But rest assured then that for this reason, the robot won't be chasing anyone down like a movie Terminator anytime soon, at least. But there are some other robots that we've covered that do run pretty fast. So are we really safe? No, we're not. This robot is equipped with a depth camera and LiDAR, a remote sensing technology that uses reflected light to create 3D models and maps of nearby objects. However, one thing that is distinctly lacking for the meantime, and maybe you saw it, it doesn't have hands. And Unitree says that it's still in development. So not only are people that practice robotics having difficulty creating hands, but so is AI. When you try to like type in I want a person looking like this, AI really struggles making fingers. And I don't get that, because consistently throughout human history, we've always had 10 fingers, right? I'm pretty sure here. But AI is struggling with that. And seems like here for robot makers, they're also struggling because they're pretty unique and they're pretty flexible and they're very cool. And we have thumbs, which to tell you good job, right? But they are going to need these. So this will be on the market anywhere in 3 to 10 years. And it says here, let us get together with robot and AI. I don't know. That sounds pretty spooky. But when it goes on the market, the price will be about $90,000 or about 70,000 pounds. That's a lot. But at the same time, you know what? It's not that much, especially with just how expensive everything is right now. 90K, you know what? People can afford that. Not everyone, but I don't know what you're gonna do with these actually, except like maybe just have someone to walk with you down the street, maybe, and scan with this lidar. But who knows? The future is limitless when it comes to AI and robots. This is merely like kind of more the prototype before they get serious. But this next one, it's gonna make you laugh. I cannot take credit for this article. This one was actually sent to me by a friend who says, "Well, Cristina, I know how much you love strange news. I don't know why, but I found this article and let me send it to you." And so I was like, "Cool." And I read it and I said, "This is crazy. This is actually funny and strange out of its mind. Let's cover this." I'm gonna share an image here, and because even the pictures are funny. They're very, very funny. Okay. Because we're used to seeing cows outside on the pasture, mowing the grass, mooing the grass. See what I did there? Very funny. And just living its best life. But we don't see cows inside of houses with mud all over the floor and walls, do we? No, we don't. And Brian, thank you for that. Thank you. So, a Washington family was shocked to discover that bovines moved into their new house in Montana. A poster on Reddit's Well, That Sucks section shared pictures of a new home that was taken over by cattle, saying, "This big guy and 3 of his friends got into our newly built Montana house and proceeded to live there for a month before being found." Here's another picture. So, several commentators said that the house might very well need to be gutted and refloored due to the damage and urged the poster to talk to an insurance company. You know how hard it is to like deal with insurance companies? Incredibly difficult. I don't know if they even have anything in their super long contract of whatever, where they say, "We will give you money if cows break in." Good luck. Good luck with that. But there are more pictures of the invading cows online. And in response to a person's question, the poster wrote, "One house is on my aunt's property. We currently live in Washington and we're planning to move over at the end of the year. We assumed she was going down every now and then to check on the house, but I guess she wasn't." Cattle Guy has a lot of acreage and looked for his cows, even filed a report for stolen cattle. He looked in our shed, but not the house because he thought someone was living there. And it continues. There was a bad storm in the town, I think around late April, and we think the cows were just looking for some coverage. They either got in by nudging a levered door or the wind might have blown the door open. We're not sure. Insurance has been contacted, but I'm not sure about outcome because my stepfather is trying to deal with it directly with the cattle guy, referring to the referring to the farmer here, to the cowboy, and trying to work things out. And no, we do not have farmers insurance. They brought that up. Cattleman, I love how this person's calling him Cattleman. Cattleman has already contacted contractors to come out and appraise the house, and we have all of his info, but unfortunately, we're not back in Washington. Well, unfortunately, we are back in Washington at this time, so it's going to be a process. I'm going to become a vegetarian to please the cow gods so that this will never happen again. This is almost as bad as the excuse of my dog ate my homework. No one believes you when you say that, but no one's gonna believe you saying, like, if you were the farmer saying, yeah, my cattle got lost and turns out they broke into someone's house and just lived there for some time. No one's gonna believe you. But this article, I laughed. It is so funny and it's so obscure. It doesn't fit into any like normal box, any normal realm. This is crazy. But I'm really happy that the poster on Reddit kind of gave some more detail on decently on the process, and as they had mentioned, they do not have farmers insurance. So how is that going to work? They're going to figure it out the hard way here. And I'm seeing all the jokes in the live chat. Utterly funny. That's a good one. Ninja cow. I like that one. This one is our last article before we do the drawing. Make sure to put in hashtag spooky. Okay? Because this one's also very appropriate for the spooky season. I know we're still in August, but come on, October. I mean, like, don't go too fast. This year has just blown by a little too quickly for me, but I want every day just to be October forever. Well, maybe not, because I'm just going to show this image here because listen to this. In the foothills of Shenyang, an industrial city in northeastern China, lies the mysterious State Guest Mansions project, a real estate complex of more than 250 luxury mansions, all of which are abandoned. 250 luxury mansions, and nobody lives in any of them. The story of state guest mansions began back in 2010 when business in the Chinese real estate sector was absolutely booming. And property giant Greenland Group bought up hectares of land in the foothills around Shenyang and began work on what was supposed to be a retreat for the region's rich and powerful. 260 European style villas began rising out of the ground, complete with marble floors and beautiful chandeliers hanging from the ceiling. But for some strange reason, which has yet to be revealed, development stopped back in 2018, and the place has been a ghost town ever since. It says here by a local man stating, everything here has been left abandoned and it feels quite creepy. I don't know about you, but I'd like to live there. That'd be really nice. All these houses, but no one lives in them. You know what? This would be the best place to make movies, documentaries, like B films, right in that area. Oh, wouldn't it? It'd be so great. And probably right now, those houses must be hopefully so cheap. Anyone can buy it and just make it into a studio for filming. Oh, I'd do that if I had the dough. The property developer never made an official statement about the State Guest Mansions project and what led to its abandonment, but many of the local people believed it had to do with corruption. Here are more images. I mean, it like this gives me Beetlejuice vibes in a kind of roundabout way, right? Like Tim Burton, kind of gray looking, sad looking. I'm feeling that. But they also look like miniature houses. Like that's something that you make for Beetlejuice, right? The little like the little mini town and all that. That's what this looks like. But these are like full-blown mansion houses with dead-looking grass. Super cool. Super cool. There is more details on this, and I will read them to you very shortly. And Toph, thank you so much. He's saying, you're home early. That's a funny one. Thank you for that. Excuse me. It says here, frankly, it was because of official corruption, a local farmer said. They cut off the funding and cracked down on uncontrolled developments, so it was left half finished. These would have sold for millions, but the rich haven't even bought one of them. They weren't built for ordinary people. The reason for the project's failure remains unclear, but to many, the abandoned luxury village, located about 40 kilometers from Beijing, is a symbol of the current Chinese housing market, a sector crippled by its own demise, really. After years of being abandoned, the unfinished luxury mansions have slowly been reclaimed by nature and by the ordinary farmers who could never afford to buy them. Cattle are being raised among these decaying houses, probably breaking in and just having a nice place to call home. And sometimes, even inside them and their garages, the ghost town enthusiasts often come here to explore, which is my thoughts exactly. So they're still standing here. They're still spooky looking. And if I casually went to China, I'd like to see these and then film a whole spooky documentary right there. That'd be amazing. And then also like pet the cows if they're still chilling there and grazing the pasture and stuff, because cows are super cute. I like that. Just want to give them a hug. They're adorable. But out of all the articles that we covered today, which one was your favorite? Let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments as well. We need 3 more entries. Put in hashtag spooky to get to 100, and then we will do the drawing. Like this video if you enjoyed at least one of the articles that we covered. We have 313 people watching this live. So say, hey, YouTube, I like this video a lot, and I want more strange news on my For You page. Okay, because regular news is so sad and depressing. Strange news, it's just whack. It's just wild. All right, here we go. We're going to do the drawing. I'll give you 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Come on. I'll give you like 5 more seconds to put in hashtag spooky in the live chat, if and only if you're watching this live, for a $50 Starbucks or Amazon gift card. Okie dokie. Here we go. Today. Bob, congratulations. And you're amazing. Congratulations. You are now the winner for the Amazon or Starbucks gift card. Please send me an email, which is below in the description box, on your YouTube URL and which gift card you would prefer. When I get that email from you, I will send you that gift card. That is it for today. Follow me on Twitter at eyes_on_the_skies for all of my updates and news, because now we're doing a new show right here on this channel called Tales of the Strange and Unexplained. The first episode was on Tuesday. It got such great feedback. So many of you really enjoyed the storytelling format. So we're going to keep it like that with the super cool and different background as well. And you do not want to miss it. That show is live. And then on Thursday, for Mysteries with the History, we covered the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind 46 years later. That was a pretty cool episode. If you haven't seen it, do take a look at that. You can find it right here on this channel. If you're listening to this on YouTube, and it's already up on your podcast platform of choice. Follow me on Instagram at Strange Paradigms to see pictures and short videos. But if you want to continue this conversation, bring it over to the Discord server. Show your thoughts, your insights, your experiences, and more. I know one of my amazing moderators will share that link in the live chat, such as Chris right here. That is it for today. I will see all of you on Tuesday. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies.